it's your boy over here ready to read you some more book. I'm eating crackers. Give me a second. Okay, part 2, Reborn. There is a festival where we wear the faces of demons to ward evil spirits from our dead in the Vale. These faces sparkle with fool's gold. Chapter 7, Lazarus. I do not see Io in death. My kin believe we see our loved ones when we pass on. They wait for us in the green vale, where woods fire smoke, and the scent of stew thickens the air. There is an old man with dew on his cap who makes safe the vale. And he stands with our kin, waiting for us along the stone road beside which sheep gaze. They say mist there is fresh, and the flowers sweet. And those who are buried pass along the stone road faster. But I do not see my love. I do not see the veil. I see nothing but phantom lights and darkness. I feel pressure, and I know, as would any miner, that I've been buried beneath the earth. A loose, soundless scream. Dirt enters my mouth. Panic fills me. I cannot breathe. I cannot move. The earth hugs me till I finally claw my way free. Feel air. Gasp up. I feel air. Gasp. Okay. Try to say that. Try to say gasp oxygen, but fast. Gasp oxygen. Gasp oxygen. Gasp oxygen. Oh my god. Gasp oxygen. Gasp oxygen. Okay. Anyway. Sorry. Feel air. Gasp oxygen. Pant and spit dirt. It is minutes before I look up from my knees. I crouch in the abandoned mine, an old tunnel along the deserted, but still connected to the ventilation systems. It smells of dirt. A single flare burns beside my grave, slaying weird shadows over the wall. It stings my eyes. It singes my sight like the sun did when it rose over Io's grave. Fuck! I'm not dead. The realization takes longer in coming than one might have thought. But there's a bloody wound around my neck, where the rope cut my skin. There's dirt in the lashes on my back. Still, I'm not dead. Uncle Norrell didn't pull my feet hard enough, but surely the tin pots would have checked, unless they were lazy. Not a stretch to think. But something else is at play. I was too woozy when I walked to the gallows. I feel something in my veins even now. As leathery as though I've been drugged. Norrell did this. He drugged me. He buried me. But why? And how would he escape being caught when he pulled my body down? When a low rumbling comes from the darkness beyond the flare, I know I will have the answers. A tumbler, like a metal beetle on 6 wheels, crawls over to the crest of the long tunnel. Its front grille hisses steam as it comes to a stop in front of me. 18 lights singe my vision. Shapes exit the sides of the vehicles, cutting across the glare of headlights to grab me. I'm too stunned to resist. Their hands are calloused like miners, and their faces are covered with October Notch demon masks. Yet they move gently, guiding instead of forcing me into the tumbler's hatch. Inside the tumbler, the glow blade is red and bloody. I sit in a worn metal bucket seat across from two figures that fetched me from one. Sorry, Sethi's having trouble today. Inside the tumbler, the glow blade is red and bloody. I sit in a worn metal bucket seat across from two figures that fetched me from my grave. The female mask is pale white and gold, horned like a cacodemon. Her eyes glitter darkly out from the eye holes. On the other is a timid man. He's willowy and quiet, seemingly frightened of me. His snarling bat-faced mask can't control his shy glances or the way in which he hides his hands. A trait of the frightened, as Uncle always claimed when he taught me to dance. You're son of Ares, aren't you? I guess. The weakling flinches, while the woman's eyes are mocking. And you, or Lazarus, she says. I find her voice cold, lazy. It plays with the ears as a cat plays with the caught mouse. I am Darrow. Oh, we know who you are. Don't tell him anything, Harmony. The weakling gibbers. Dancer didn't tell us to discuss anything with him until we get home. Thank you, Ralph. Harmony sighs at the weakling and shakes her head. After realizing his error, the weakling shifts uncomfortably in his bucket seat. But I've stopped paying him any mind. Here, the woman is king. Unlike the weakling, her mask is like that of an old crone, one of the witches of Earth's fallen cities, who made soup from the marrow of children's bones. You're a mess. Harmony reaches to touch my neck. I grab her hand and squeeze. Her bones are brittle and hollow as plastic in a helldiver's hands. The weakling reaches for his thumper, but Harmony motions him to calm down. Why am I not dead? I ask. Oh, I hope my finger hasn't been covering the fucking mic the whole time. Why am I not dead? I ask. After hanging, my voice is like gravel dragged over metal. Because Ares has a mission for you, little helldiver. She winces as I squeeze her hand. Ares. My mind flashes to images of bomb blasts, disembodied limbs, chaos. Ares. I know that sort of mission he'll want, and I'm too numb to even know what I'll say when he asks. My mind is on Io, not this life. I am a shell. Why could I have not stayed in the ground? May I have my hand back now? Harmony asks. If you take off the mask, otherwise I'm keeping it. She laughs and strips away her mask. Her face is day and night, the right side ragged and distant mess of skin running and folding together in smooth scar rivers. A steam burn, a familiar sight, but not on a woman. Rare for women to be on the drill. Yet, it is the unburned side of her face that startles. She is beautiful, more beautiful even than Io. Skin soft, pale as milk, bones prominent and delicate, yet she looks so cold and so angry and cruel. Her bottom teeth are uneven and her nails are poorly maintained. She has knives in her boots. I can tell by the way she flinched down when I grabbed her hand. The weakling Ralph is unremarkably ugly. Dark face like a hatchet, teeth all angry and grimy. He stares out the tumbler's window hatch as we drive through the abandoned tunnels. Sorry. The way I was reading made me giggle. Until we reach the light. Sorry. Until we reach the lit paved tunnel roads meant for fast moving. I do not know these reds, and they have a red sigil emblazoned on their hands. I do not trust them. They are not of Lambda or Lyco. They might as well be Silvers. Eventually, I glimpse other utility vehicles and tumblers out the hatch. I don't know where we are, yet that bothers me less than the swelling sadness in my chest. The farther we ride, the more time I'm given to my thoughts, and the worse the pain becomes. I fingered the wedding band. Io is still dead. She's not waiting for me at the end of this ride. Why did I survive and she didn't? Why did I pull her feet so hard? Could she have lived too? My guts feel like black hole. A terrible weight compresses my chest, and I ache to just jump from the tumbler into the path of the utility vehicle. Death is easy when you've already tried to find it. But I don't jump. I sit with Harmony and Ralph. Io wanted more from me. I clench the scarlet headband in my fist. The tunnel road widens slightly when we come to a checkpoint manned by dirty tin pots and a worn-down gear. The electric gate isn't even charged. They let the tumbler ahead of us through. After scanning a panel on its side, then it's our turn. And I'm shifting uncomfortably in my seat right along with Ralph. Harmony chuckles disdainfully as the gray-haired tin pots scan the side of the tumbler and wave us through. We have a passcode. No brains and slaves. Mine tin tops are idle bots. Oops. Maybe I'm the idle bot because that says idiot. No brains and slaves. Mine tin pots are idiots. It's the Grey's elites, or the obsidian monsters you watch out for. But they don't waste their time down here. I'm trying to convince myself that this is not all some gold trick. That Harmony and Ralph are not enemies. We pull off the main tunnel road into the cul-de-sac of utility warehouses, not much larger than the common. Harsh sulfur lights hang down from the utility fixtures. Half the bulbs are burnt out. One flickers on and off. Above the garage near the warehouse, marked with a queer symbol, done in strange paint. We steer into the garage. The door closes, and Harmony motions me to get out of the tumbler. Home sweet home, she says. Now time to meet Dancer. Chapter 8. Dancer. Dancer looks through me. He's near enough my height, which is rare, but he's thick and terribly old. Maybe in his 40s, white swirls from his temples. A dozen twin scars mark his neck. I've seen their sort before. Pit viper bites. On the arm of the left side of his body hangs limp, nerve damage. But his eyes arrest me. They are brighter than most, swirling with patterns of true red, not rust red. He has a fatherly smile. You must be wondering who we are, Dancer says gently. He's big, but his voice is easy. 8 Reds are with him, all men except for Harmony, and they watch him with adoring eyes. All miners, I think. Each with the scarred, strong hands of our kind. They move with the grace of our people, no doubt. Some were jumpers and booters, as we call those who run along the walls and perform flips and dances. Any hell divers? He's not wondering. Harmony takes time with the words, rolling them along her tongue. She squeezes Dancer's hand as she passes around him to look at me. Bloody damn runt pegged it an hour ago. Dancer smiles softly. Of course he did. Otherwise Ares wouldn't asked us to risk extracting him here. Do you know where here is, Daro? It doesn't matter, I murmur. Look around at the walls. The men, the swaying lights. Everything is so cold, so dirty. What matters is... What matters is... I failed to finish my own sentence. A thought of evil serves my voice. What matters is that you want something from me. Yes, that matters, says Dancer. Sorry, I sound like fucking Bane there. Yes, that matters, says Dancer. His hand touches my shoulders. But that can wait. I'm surprised you're standing. The wounds on your back are soiled. You'll need anti-bac and skinners to stop that scarring. Scars don't matter, I say. I stare at the 2 blood drops that trickled from my shirt tail to the floor. My wounds reopened when I climbed out the grave. Io is dead, yes? Yes, she is. We couldn't save her, Daro. Why not? I ask. We just couldn't. Why not? I repeat. Glare up at him. Glare at his followers and his words one by one. You saved me. You could have saved her. She is the one you would have wanted. The bloody damn martyr. She cared about all of this. Or does Ares only need sons and not daughters? Murderers are a dime a dozen. Harmony yawns. I slip forward like a serpent and grab her around her throat. Waves of anger trickle through my face till it goes numb. I feel tears welling behind my eyes. Scorchers whine as they're primed around me. One jabs me in the back of my neck. I feel cold muzzle. Let her go, someone shouts. Do it, boy. I spit at them. Shake Harmony once and toss her to the side. She crouches to the floor, hacking, and then a knife glimmers in her hand as she rises. Dancer stumbles between us. Stop it, both of you. Daro, please. Your girl was a dreamer, boy. Oops, wrong voice. Your girl was a dreamer, boy. Harmony spits out for me from Dancer's other side. A worthless flame over the water. Harmony, shut your bloody damn gob, Dancer barks. Put those damn things away. The scorchers go quiet. A tense silence follows as he leans in close to speak with me. His voice lowers. My breath is fast. Darrow, we're friends. We're friends. Now I can't answer for Ares why he couldn't help save your girl. I am just one of his hands. I can't wash away the pain. I can't bring your wife back to you. But Darrow, look at me. Look at me, Helldiver. I do, right into those blood-red eyes. I can't do many things, but I can bring you justice. Dancer goes to Harmony and whispers something, likely telling her that we're to be friends. We won't be. But I promise not to choke her, and she promises not to stab me. She is quiet as she guides me from the others through the cramped metal hallways to a small door opened by twisting knobs. Our feet echo over the rusting walkways. The room is small and littered with tables and medical supplies. She has me strip and sit on one of the cold tables so she can clean my wounds. Her hands are not as gentle as they scrub away the lacerated back. I try not to scream. You're a fool, she says as she scrapes a rock out of my deep wound. I wheeze in pain and try to say something, but she jams a finger into my back, cutting me short. Dreamers like your wife are limited, little Helldiver. She makes sure I don't speak. Understand that. The only power they have is in death. The harder they die, the louder their voice, the deeper the echoes. But your wife served her purpose. Her purpose? It sounds so cold and so distant and sad. She was my girl of smiles and laughter. As though my girl of smiles and laughter was meant for nothing but death. Harmony's words carve into me, and I stare at the metal grating before turning my back into her angry eyes. Then what's your purpose, I ask. She holds up her hands, caked with dirt and blood. The same as yours, little Helldiver. To make that dream come true. After Harmony scores my back of dirt and gives me a dose of antibag, she takes me into the next room to humming generators. The squat quarters are limited with coats and liquid flush. She leaves me to it. The shower is a terrifying thing. Though it's gentler than the air of the flush, half the time I feel like I'm drowning. The other half, I find a mixture of ecstasy and agony. I turn the heat nozzle till steam rises thick and pain laces my back. Clean, I dress in strange garments. I dress in strange garments they set out for me. It's not a jumpsuit or homespun weave like I'm used to wearing. The material is slick, elegant, like something someone of a different color would wear. Dancer comes into the room when I'm half dressed. His left foot drags behind him, almost as useless as his left arm. Yet he's still an impressive man. Thicker than Barrow, handsomer than me despite his age, and bite scars on his neck. He carries a tin bowl and sits on one of the cots, which cranks against his weight. We saved your life, Darrell, so your life is ours. Do you not agree? My uncle saved my life. The drunk. The best thing he ever did was tell us about you. And he should have done that when you were a boy. He kept you a secret. He's worked for us since before your father's death as an informer, you know. Is he hanged now? Now that he pulled you down? I should hope not. We gave him a jammer to shut off the ancient cameras. He did the work of a ghost. Uncle Norrell, head talk, but drunk as a fool. I always thought him weak. He still is. No strong man would drink like him or be so bitter. But he never earned the disdain I gave him. Yet why did he not save you? You act like my uncle bloody damn owed you. I say, he owes his people. People? Huh. There is family. There is clan. There may even be township and mine, but people? People. You act as though you're my representative. As though you have the right to my life. But you're just a fool. All of you sons of Ares. My voice is withering in its condescendence. Fools who can do nothing but blow things up. Like children kicking a pet viper's nest in rage. That's what I do. I want to kick. I want to lash out. That's why I insult them. That's why I spit on the sons of Ares, even though I have no real cause to hate them. Dancer's handsome face curls into... Oh, okay, never mind. I thought I wasn't recording. Dancer's handsome face curls into a tired smile. And then I realize how feeble his dead arm really is. Thinner than his muscular right arm. Bent like a flower's root. Despite the withered limb, there's twisted menace to Dancer. A less obvious sort than in Harmony. It comes out when I laugh at him, when I scorn him and his dreams. Our informants exist to feed us information, and to help us find the outliers, so we can extract the best of the Reds from the mines. So you can use us? Dancer smiles tightly and picks up a bowl from the cot. We will play the game to see if you are one of those outliers, Darrell. If you win, I will take you to see something few low reds have seen. Low reds? I've never heard of that term before. And if I lose, then you are not an outlier, and the Golds win yet again. I flinch at the notion. He holds out a bowl and explains the rules. There are 2 cards in the bowls. One bears the Reaper's scythe, and the other bears a lamb. Pick the scythe, and you lose. Pick the lamb. Oh, that's supposed to be a voice. He holds out a bowl and explains the rules. There are 2 cards in the bowl. One bears the Reaper's scythe, and the other bears a lamb. Pick the scythe, and you lose. Pick the lamb, and you win. Except, I notice his voice fluctuate when he says this last bit. This is a test. which means there is no element of luck to it. It must then be a measuring of my intelligence, which means there's a kink. The only way the game could test my intelligence is if the cards are both sides. That's the singular variable that could be altered. Simple. I stare into Dancer's handsome eyes. It's a rigged game. I'm used to these. And I usually follow the rules. Just not this time. I'll play. I reach into the bowl and pull free a card, taking care that only I can see its face. It's a scythe. And Dancer's eyes never leave mine. I win, I say. He reaches for the card to see its face, but I shove it into my mouth before he can take hold of it. He never sees what I drew. Dancer watches me chew the paper. I swallow it and pull the remaining card from the bowl and toss it to him. A scythe. The land card looks simply too good to not eat, I say. Perfectly understandable. I feel like that's gotta be better. Perfectly understandable. The red in his eyes twinkles, and he sets the bowl aside. Warmth of character returns to him, as if he'd never been a menace. Do you know why we call ourselves the sons of Ares, Darrow? To the Romans, Mars was the god of war, a god of military glory, defense of the heath and home, honorable and all. But Mars is a fraud. It is the romanticized version of Ares. Dancer lights a burner and hands the second one to me. The generators buzz freshly, and the burner fills me with the The generators buzz, and the burners fill me with a haze as its smoke curls through my lungs. Ares was a bastard, an evil patron of rage, violence, bloodlust, and massacre, he says. So by naming yourself after him, you're pointing to the truth of things within the society. Cute. Something like that. The Golds would prefer us to forget history. And most of us have. Or we were never taught it. But how gold rose to power 100 years ago? They call it the conquering. They butchered any who contested them, massacred cities, continents. Not many years ago, they reduced an entire world to ash. I don't know how to say that. Right there. Oh, come on now. Fucking focus. I'll point to it. That one. I don't know how to say that. For this one, I'm going to say Rhea, but you can decide how I say it for the next chapters. Rhea. The Ash Lord nuked it to oblivion. It was with Ares' wrath that they acted. And now, we are the sons of that wrath. Are you Ares? I ask. Voice hushed. Worlds. They've destroyed worlds. But Rhea is so much farther from Earth than Mars. It's one of Saturn's moons, I think. Why would they nuke a world all the way out there? No, I'm not Ares, he answers. But you belong to him. I belong to no one but harmony and my people. I am like you, Daro. Born to clan of earth diggers, miners, from the colony of Tyros. Only I know more of the world. He frowns at my impatient expression. You think me a terrorist? I am not. No? I ask. He leans back and takes a drag of his burner. Imagine there is a table covered with fleas, he explains. The fleas would jump and jump to heights unknown. Then man came along and upturned a glass jar over the fleas. The fleas jumped and hit the top of the jar and could go no further. Then man removed the jar, and yet the fleas did not jump higher than they had. Because they believed there is still a glass ceiling. He breathes out smoke, and I see his eyes glow through like the ember tip of his burners. We are the fleas who jump high. Now let me show you just how high. Dancer takes me down a rickety corridor to the cylindrical metal lift. It's rusty and heavy, and it squeals as we rise steadily upward. You should know that your wife didn't die in vain, Daro. The Koreans who helped us hijack the broadcast. We hacked and played the true version on every HC on our planet. The planet, the clans, and hundreds and thousands of mining colonies, and those in the cities have heard your wife's song. You tell tall tales, I grumble. There aren't half that many colonies. He ignores me. They heard her song, and they call her Persephone already. I flinch and look over at him. No, that's not her name. She's not their symbol. She doesn't belong to these brigands and tuned up names. Her name is Io, and she belongs to Lycos. She belongs to her people, Daro. This thing's gotta be fucking zoomed in or something. She belongs to her people, Daro. And they remember the tales of a goddess stolen from her family by the god of death. Yet even when she was stolen, death could not forever keep her. She was the maiden, the goddess of spring, disdained to return after each winter. Beauty incarnate can touch life, even from the grave. That's how they think of your wife. She's not coming back, I say at the end of the conversation. It's futile debating with this man. He just rolls on. Our lift comes to a halt, and we exit into a small tunnel. Following it, we come to another lift, a sleeker metal, better maintained. 2 suns guard it with scorches. Soon, we're going upward again. She will not come back, but her beauty, her voice, will echo until the end of time. She believed in something beyond herself, and her death gave her voice power it didn't have in life. She was pure, like your father. We, you and I. He touches my chest, and with the back of his index finger, are dirty. We are made for blood, rough hands, and dirty hearts. We are lesser creatures in the grand scheme of things. But without men like us, men of war, no one except those of Lycos would hear Eo's song. Without our rough hands, the dreams of the pure heart would never be built. Cut to your point, I interrupt. You want me for something. You tried to die before, Dancer says. Do you want to do so again? I want... What do I want? I want to kill Augustus, I say, remembering the golden face as it commanded my wife's death. It was so distant, so uncaring. He will not live while Io lies dead. I think of the magistrate Pogonus and ugly Dan. I will kill them too. Vengeance, then, he sighs. You said you could give it to me. I said I would give you justice. Vengeance is as empty dark. Oh, fuck. I said I would give you justice. Vengeance is an empty thing, Darrow. It will fail me. Help me kill the Arch-Governor. Darrow, you set your sights too low. The lift picks up speed, and my ears pop. Up and up and up. How far does this thing rise? The Arch-Governor is merely one of the most important golds on Mars. Dancer hands me a pair of tinted glasses. I put them on tentatively, as my heart thuds in my chest. Are we going to the surface? You must widen your gaze. The lift stops, the door opens, and I am blind. Behind the glasses, my pupils constrict to adjust to the light. When at last I'm able to open my eyes, I expect to see a massive glowing bulb or flare. Sorry, let me reread that. Behind the glasses, my pupils constrict to adjust to the light. When at last I'm able to open my eyes, I expect to see a massive glowing bulb or a flare, some source of the light, but I see nothing. The light is ambient, from the distant, impossible source. Some human instinct in me knows this power, knows this primal origin of life. This is the sun. Daylight. My hands tremble as I step with Dancer. From the elevator. He does not speak. I doubt I would hear him if he did. We stand in a room of strange markings, unlike any I've imagined. Oh fuck, that's a 15-minute fucking piece. Good God, I'm sorry. To my phone, anyway. There is a substance underfoot. Oh, that's not a quote. There is a substance underfoot. Hard, but neither metal nor rock. Wood. I know it from the HC pictures of Earth. A carpet of 1,000 hues spreads over. A carpet of 1,000 hues spreads over it, soft under my feet. The walls around me are red, carved with trees and deer. Soft music plays in the distance. I follow the tune deeper into the room, toward the light. I find a bank of glass. A large wall lets the sun in to shine across the length of the squat black instrument with white keys, which it plays itself in a tall room with 3 walls and a long bank of glass windows. Everything is so smooth. Beyond the instrument, beyond the glass, lies something I don't understand. I stumble toward the window, toward the light, fall to my knees. Pressing my hands against the barrier, I moan a long don't. Now you understand, Dancer says. We are deceived. Beyond the glass sprawls a city